Hello and welcome to episode 18 of A Cup of Grace and Lori. I'm Grace.
And I'm Lori.
And in today's episode, we decided to do a part 2 of our self-love discussion. You know, this is a very important discussion, right? And I do believe that how we feel about ourselves is foundational to how we show up in the world, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So I think, it is, it's worth revisiting.
Yes.
So that's what we're going to do today. So
All right.
Lori and I came out with some more tips on how to practice self-love, and we'll just go back and forth.
You mentioned you had a quote. Did you want to start with that?
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a quote by Marianne Williamson. I don't know if you've heard of her. She wrote a classic book called A Return to Love. And I really love her and love that book. And I found this quote and I thought that I would share it. Our self-perception determines our behavior. If we think we're small, limited, inadequate creatures, then we tend to behave that way. And the energy we radiate reflects those thoughts, no matter what we do. If we think we're magnificent creatures with an infinite abundance of love and power to give, then we tend to behave that way. Once again, the energy around us reflects our state of awareness.
Yeah.
Right? So how we perceive ourselves is so important.
And actually, do you find that it can vary from day to day, or is it always the same for you?
Like from moment to moment, Lori, okay? That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Like it is a challenge, right? It is a worthy challenge.
Yeah.
But it is hard. Like I go through such an emotional roller coaster. Sometimes, you know, some periods I'm especially feeling more vulnerable and I'm weepy and, you know, I feel very drained, you know, so it's a process. It's a challenge for sure. I'm not always, you know, like consistent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I want to make sure that people understand, no, come on. I'm not always, you know, about rainbows and unicorns and, you know, like skipping through the fields.
Yeah.
Feeling good about myself.
For me, it's just as simple. Did I sleep well the night before? That's all it is.
That's so important, eh? Sleeping.
Well, if I slept well, I usually have a great day. And then if I didn't sleep as well, then I wake up, you know, I'm tired. And then that type of self-perception, it can affect my self-perception, even though I kind of am trying to fight against it. No, because I'm trying to use mental strength to say, okay, you're tired, but that does, you know, everything else is going well. You're still this and this and this and this. You're just a bit tired. If I have to, I'll try and, you know, just lie down for 30 minutes, you know, that day. And that improves my mood and self-perception.
I think we take for granted just how crucial getting a good night's sleep is.
Yeah.
Our bodies they're our vessels.
Yeah.
So we need to, you know, give it the rejuvenating rest that it deserves.
Yeah.
And requires. And I'm not so good at that actually, because I am kind of a night owl. But it does affect you.
That is actually one of the tips I had on my list, is getting enough sleep. And as I said, for me, it's critical because it's just, if I get enough sleep, I have a wonderful day. And then if I don't, you know, it's not quite as good. So
interesting.
Yeah, I think I know what I need to function well, not just function, but function to the best of my ability. And sleep is like number one.
So one of my tips would be to be the person you needed when you were younger, or be the role model you needed when you were younger. So conduct your life in a way, lead your life in a way where, you know, just pretend that you are the role model that you needed when you were younger.
Like you are the adult that you needed.
That's right. You are the responsible. adult. So how would, like maybe when you come encounter a situation where it's challenging for you, and then you could think, well, what would my higher self do? What would the leader, how would the leader in me communicate in this situation, or conduct herself? You know what I mean?
Or I just had this thought, Grace. And if you don't mind me interrupting, you could almost, it's like, yeah, when you're having one of those mini meltdowns or whatever, I call it a mini meltdown because you know what I'm talking about. You could almost say, okay, there's the adult and the child within me now. And you could move towards the adult role and say, okay, as the adult, I'm going to speak to the child within me that's having the meltdown. Now, everything's going to be okay. It's just this, you do the self-talk that's as if you are talking to a child, and it's, point out that the broader picture is still bright. This is just one little blip in the road, that type of thing. So
exactly, because I do believe that all of us have an inner child.
Yes.
All right. So and we have a lot of wounds, right? So inner child wounds. There are a lot of things that we haven't addressed, from what happened in our childhood. Part of the learning to love yourself journey involves, healing yourself. And I know that it can be a challenge to be kind to ourselves, be loving to ourselves, be compassionate with ourselves. As adults, sometimes I find myself, when I am struggling, to be kinder to myself. What I do is imagine myself, my younger self, as my inner child, quote unquote inner child. So I'm picturing my adult self holding my inner child, me as a younger child, and I am comforting her.
Okay.
Right? It's like, it's going to be okay.
Right.
I'm there for you.
Yes.
I'm going to look after you.
Yes.
I'm going to protect you.
I'm going to speak up for you. I'm going to speak up for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? You are there for yourself.
Yes.
So that's your adult self, your inner child. So be the role model that you needed, for sure.
Yeah.
And just recognize that, you are a high value person. You are a high value person. Raise your standards. Don't settle for less than you deserve. How would a high value person conduct herself?
Yes. Yes.
Right? It's like, would a high value person accept being in circumstances or relationships that are not aligned with her values?
Yeah. Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Would a high value person find herself continuously entangled in unhealthy patterns? And this is, I'm speaking from personal experience here. In my relationships, I can reflect back and see all the unhealthy patterns that I just relived over and over again. And this is the universe. It's like, okay, you still haven't learned the lessons that you needed to learn. And that's why I keep getting into those unhealthy relationships.
Yeah.
Right? So would a high value person remain in those relationships and not try to heal those wounds?
Right.
Not try to heal those, for me, I have abandonment issues. So I have the abandoned inner child wound, right? So just envision yourself as a high value person, because you truly are worthy. We were born already worthy.
Right.
We don't have to earn it. Like the way society is organized, it makes people feel like we have to prove our worth. We were already born worthy.
Right. We have to get the degree. Although I have to admit, I did feel better once I got my degree.
Yes, but it didn't prove your worth or disprove it, right? You were already worthy before you earned those social credentials.
Yes.
Very good. So there you go.
Very good.
All right.
And I wanted also to say, when you were talking about the inner child needing healing and from the trauma, on the other side of that token, we have to listen to our inner child about what the inner child wants to do, i.e., you talked about
having fun, like being playful,
fun, or something you've wanted to do for a long time. Like, I think, did you talk about painting? Or I know I wanted to paint.
I know you did.
Okay.
I did take drawing lessons.
Right.
Yes.
Well, I have wanted to take, painting lessons. And I mean, since kindergarten, I was a crazy painter. I was painting all the time in kindergarten, because I loved painting, and I've loved art all my life. So that is on my to-do list. We have to listen to our inner child about the inner child
being more playful
desires. Yeah, and not just stomp them down or say, oh no, that's childish or whatever. It is it's childlike, not childlike.
Yes. Yeah. It is advisable to live our lives with a childlike wonder. Right. And we forget that, right? We try to be all so serious and responsible.
Yeah.
Life is about, it's not just about being responsible and
yeah,
right, like we're supposed to enjoy it.
Yeah,
enjoy the journey.
Yes. The next one that I want to talk about is not undervaluing the services that I have to offer. And what I've done recently is I've increased my prices for
good for you
writing. Yeah. And I noticed that just improved my money energy, because I just thought, you know what, I'm not charging enough. I'm not charging enough for what I'm offering. So I'm just going to raise my prices, and I did. And
it's symbolic. You're raising your standards.
Right. My everything is going up. So it's like, well, yeah. And also, I think when you don't charge enough and you're working on something, that feeling permeates through the whole job, because you're like, geez, I should have charged more, or this is taking longer than I thought, or you might try and wrap it up quicker because you're thinking, oh, well, I only charge this much and I don't want to,
so you value it less, you value the assignment less.
Yes, maybe. I think that can I think it happens. I try not to let it, because I don't want it to affect my own standards, quality, or my professional standards, right? But it does, because the thought is ever present in my mind while I'm working on it, and I'm thinking, okay, next time I'm charging more for this. This is taking longer, and I don't want to cut corners. Like, I don't want to produce shoddy work or whatever.
Of course not.
It's not my style. So
yes,
it's really important for both sides of, both parties, that we're charging enough for our services. So
yes,
so I felt that that's maybe not so obvious, but it is part of self-love and self-care.
And you're valuing yourself. Yeah.
And you're valuing yourself. And I think what happens is you end up attracting, I don't want to say better, but you know what I mean by better clients, more people who value you more, right?
Yeah.
Less, you attract people that don't really value you as much. When I first started working for myself, I did write resumes, and I had people, I give them a set price, and then I said, okay, there's one edit, or they would come back and say, even after I'd edited it, oh, I need it edited again. I need my resume, and I need you to do another cover letter, and they expected all of that for the same price that I'd originally quoted, right? And I thought, wait a minute, I'm not doing all this extra work. I told you I'll do one edit, and then so you have to look at it and say, okay, what do I need? What isn't right for me, or what do I need her to do? But I'm not going to come back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Otherwise, the original price I quoted is no longer valid. So anyway, I stopped doing those after a while. I did them for a good 2 years, but then I was like, you know what? People they expect a lot. Or at least, okay, maybe I should put it this way. The clients I was attracting expected a lot for what I was charging. So I just stopped because it
You
wasn't
just
bringing
stopped
me
doing it.
joy. It didn't
But
know if
that's
it
where
was
you were at that time. Do you know
at
what I
that time.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That was
at that
your
time.
money energy was different.
Yeah, it was. So yeah.
Okay. So another tip of mine to love ourselves would be to go after your dreams.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Easier said than done. Easier
Right.
said than done.
Right.
You know, because we have pressures, you know, probably the likely challenges that we face in going after our dreams are people who are in our immediate network, like our families.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you might hear messages like, oh, you know, that's impractical.
Mm-hmm.
Say you wanted to be a painter, for example,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And they might say, oh, that's impractical, you know, like, why don't you get a quote unquote real job,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? So there's always that pressure. So
Mm-hmm.
we as we go through life, we learn to internalize all those
Mm-hmm.
limiting beliefs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I did that for a very long time, Lori. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I denied myself and suppressed my dreams. You know, I
Okay.
didn't go after my dreams for a very long time, and I thought
Mm-hmm.
I was okay with it. I was like, okay, you know what, you know, because for me, stability is really important. I'm sure
Right.
it's important for everyone,
Right.
but I'm pretty preoccupied with it,
Okay.
and so I was like, okay, I'm not going to go after an impractical dream such as,
Mm-hmm.
you know, being a writer, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to just, you know, because I want a comfortable life. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get a proper 9 to 5 job,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? And just earn a regular paycheck,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I did that.
Yeah.
And I would sometimes find myself crying at work, Lori.
Oh, really?
I
Oh,
don't think what do you think that says? What do you think my soul was saying to me?
yeah.
So I
Yeah.
knew it felt like my soul was dying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And those tears were a hint. It's like, Grace,
Right.
this
This
is
isn't
not
for you.
for you,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? This is
Yeah.
not what you're meant to do.
Right. Right.
I knew it, but I kept suppressing it for years and years. But you know
Mm-hmm.
what, Lori? I know that I had to go through that. And I think
Right.
a lot of us have to go through that because
Right.
that's how we learn. Well, not only we, I don't know, we somehow learn mental strength, but we also learn empathy because now
Mm-hmm.
because we know what it's like to suppress our dreams. And so
And
we know, yeah, go ahead.
also, sorry, we learn empathy, but we also learn contrast. You talk about contrast
Exactly.
all the
That's
time.
how we learn.
And
That's how we
by
learn. I
having
had to.
that experience, then you know, okay, I do not want that again. Not, I don't even want
Exactly.
anything related to it. So that, and I had the same experience as you, going back to work after doing my degree. It was, oh my God, it was, well, let's just say it was a very stressful environment. And after 8 months, my body was telling me, you've got to
Yeah.
get out of here.
See?
Got to get
Yeah.
out of here. I was I had symptoms, I wasn't sleeping, I had digestive problems, whatever. And my
See?
body was saying, get out of here
Yes.
now, yesterday. So yeah, I mean, that's how my
And
body responded.
we do this so many of us do this. Like we don't listen to our bodies. Our bodies are so intelligent and
Yeah.
it's communicating to us.
But like you said, we have there's we do have to pay our mortgage or our rent.
Exactly. But
So
that's the vicious cycle. There's a
That's the
vicious
vicious
cycle
cycle.
though. I got
Right.
caught in a vicious cycle for
So did I.
years
And
because
then,
it's like, okay, I want to get out, but how?
yeah,
I have to pay the bills. I'm
right,
a responsible citizen.
right, right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
don't know. For me, it's like I reached a point, it's like, yeah, no, it's time. And the universe actually, I truly believe that the universe pushed me. It's like, yeah, no,
yeah,
Grace, it's time.
I
Yeah,
know.
you had to go through those very painful
Yes.
cycles to
I
learn.
mean, maybe you don't, but I certainly had to, and you did. So, but I want to say
Yeah, it happened for a reason. It happened for
did.
a reason,
You and
right?
I
So I
both
think we
did.
understand it happened for a reason.
I just want to remind you, you and I both did achieve one of our dreams, and that was to get
Earn a
degree.
university
We
degree.
both quit jobs, and well, you were in your late 30s, I was in my 40s, and went back to school. And that was, that took a lot of courage.
That was an emotionally and mentally trying time too. Yeah. So we're stronger because of those difficult times. It built character, right?
For
but
me,
it was painful.
I enjoyed my youth.
I know you did.
I loved it. I loved it. Like,
For me, it was a
oh
little.
my God, this is the best decision I made in my life. So no,
I do. Yeah. For a long time, I did believe that it was one of the best decisions I ever made, and I do believe it.
Yeah.
I do believe that it was one of the best decisions I ever made.
Yes.
But there's a lot of things that I had after graduating that I had. Well, I'm still trying to unlearn. I'm still trying to unlearn what I learned.
Okay.
Like just academic writing, it's not the same as the type of writing that I want to do, for example. It's totally different, right? Creative writing, academic writing, it's not really the same.
It's different, but you know what? Do you not find your academic writing helped you to become a better communicator? It certainly did for me.
But I didn't. My academic voice is not the same as my actual voice. My actual writing voice.
But has it not changed?
It helped my critical thinking skills. That is what I'm grateful for.
Okay, good.
My critical thinking skills. But the part where I attached my worth to the grade that I received. So I got really unhealthy.
Okay,
in like I became too attached to the outcome of my academic papers. But it's like, okay, I need an A+. If I don't get an A+, it's not good enough. I'm not good enough.
No,
that's not right.
No, that's not right.
I know that's not right.
We're both writers. And I can't say that my degree was in English, for heaven's sake, right? So obviously, I improved my writing skills,
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. People tell me now, they say, oh, you're a really clear writer, and I know it improved my writing skills and my critical thinking skills. So for me, it was a wonderful experience. And for me, it was the best decision I made in my life. So,
So far.
I just want to remind you that we did go after one of our dreams. So this tip is to take 15 minutes in the morning for either or all of these: your skincare routine, meditation, or what I do, which is the EFT tapping, the tapping. So instead of meditating, I do the EFT tapping, and I do my skincare routine, which is the dry brush. I have a dry brush and I do that. And then I cleanse my face, toner, and then moisturizer. And that's, it's about 15 minutes, but it's worth it.
Oh my.
There were, Grace, I think through my 30s, my whole 30s, I didn't do that at all. Like I probably just took a washcloth, water, and then, slap my makeup on and off I went. I didn't do the proper skincare routine. So now at this age, I can't get away with that, right? So, but you know what? It isn't just a matter of getting away with it. It's like, it really is an act of self-love to take the time to, right? To look at your skin. It's just 15 minutes. You can probably pare it down to even 10 if you're a bit quicker. But you just feel so much better. Like, oh, now my face feels good. I feel, and now I can start my day. Another thing I do is I go out into our backyard and then I water the flowers, because usually in the morning, especially now it's so hot, they need water every day, right? And just getting out in the backyard for even a few minutes and just looking at the flowers and watering them or whatever, it's funny, but it brightens your day.
Okay, is it calming? I imagine it's calming.
Very calming, very calming. And it's like, being kind of in touch with nature the first thing in the morning. I mean, there's people that go for walks first thing in the morning. I'm not at that point yet. It's like getting in touch with nature first, and then you go do your work instead of diving right into the computer or whatever.
Good.
But so whatever it is, your meditation, maybe even 15 minutes of yoga. But for me, it's the skincare routine. Absolutely, I do every morning, and then I try and do my EFT tapping. And I find it just, I don't know, it just that's one way to put you in that. If you're not in that really positive frame of mind, it just reminds you, I'm going to take time for myself. First thing first.
Yes.
You're putting yourself first
Yes.
before you
Good.
attend to today's, responsibilities. So that's part 2 for now. So let us know what you think in the comments section. We love to hear your feedback. What do you do for self love? Is there something we haven't covered? I'd love to hear it. Grace would too. So please enter it in the comments. Have a great week, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.